In the world of hunting, there's what we call once-in-a-lifetime tags. Tags so rare and difficult to draw, they usually take a lifetime. Thanks to hunting full and a little bit of luck, I was fortunate enough to draw one of these coveted tags in Montana, chasing some gigantic elk. With 21 days to hunt for a bull of a lifetime, the challenge was set. Well, we're heading to the elk woods. With 3 days left before opening day, we had one goal: scout as much of both the public and private land we had access to hunt. Punch up this ridge behind camp and get on the glass. Every hour of training, every ounce of preparation over the past few months was about to be tested to the limit. With the afternoon sun beaming down, we set up to glass, though smoke from Canadian wildfires severely inhibited our visibility. Even in the haze, we found a group of bull elk on a distant ridge. While none were particularly impressive, the sight of an elk, any elk, was a victory and increased my anticipation for the days to come. I think the full moon, windy conditions and hot temperatures just sort of has everything locked down. Potential shoot a bull across the gully here. I mean, it's a bit hard to tell with the wind and with the sun setting, but he looks like he's got everything, so we'll be back here first thing in the morning. We woke to an eerily foggy morning. There's about 50 cows up there. There is one bull who's been doing a couple of bugles, which is awesome. But it's awesome that we're on elk and right, hopefully it just develops over the next couple of days. Well, it's awfully quiet this morning. We've just been making our way along the ridge, glassing down into pockets, haven't had a bugle. We're waiting for that sun to come up a little bit more so we can glass back onto where the herd was yesterday. But hoping for a bit more natural activity, that the bulls will be talking to each other and the rut will be started already, but looks like we're probably going to have to kick it off this morning and hopefully get something to bugle. With improved visibility, we climbed back to where the herd had been the day prior. The elk had scattered across various bedding areas, so we set to work glassing, searching for any sign of a shooter bull. A strong breeze swept across the mountaintop, carrying the faintest echoes of bugles drifting around the hill. As the midday heat took hold, the herd spread out further, seeking shade in the thick pines. Moving cautiously through the dense cover, we navigated the minefield of watchful eyes, careful not to give ourselves away. Slowly we crept closer to where we suspected the bull might be. Eventually we found his cows bedded in a tight gully. Then, with a deep breath, I ripped a bugle, hoping to provoke the bull into defensive action. The bull's coming. Well, we knew it wasn't going to be that easy. We ended up sneaking in, got about 80 metres off that bedded cow and didn't want to push it any further, just with being able to call and the movement required. I didn't want to push it and I thought it'd be close enough that it'd draw the bull over to us. He didn't really know what happened. He's still in there bugling, but they're just in the thick timber below us. We're trying to relocate him, but we can't. We don't want to pressure him too much, so we might just leave him for now until they're making a bit more noise. Go to another vantage point and try and relocate some other elk. Well, the smoke ended up clearing just enough for us to find a new herd of elk. We ended up coming in here and we're sitting across from him. There's a pretty good bull, which we think it's the bull for the other day. He has really nice style, really good genetics, but he's just not quite there. He's still pretty young, so we're just sitting watching, but the rut doesn't look like it's fully kicked off either. He's walking around nudging all the cows. He hasn't made any noise yet. We're being patient, we're just watching them, but it's pretty frustrating. We're hoping this rut's going to start, the bull's going to start moving in, but tomorrow we might have to do a new game plan, get a bit mobile and do some calling, run a few ridges. In any other unit he would be a shooter for sure, like the bull from yesterday, but it's just, this is a once in a lifetime tag, so we're sort of looking for a once in a lifetime bull, I guess. This morning kicked off just like the others, up long before dawn, trekking up a distant ridge, fingers crossed hoping we'd hear some bugles echoing across the valley below. But today was different. Gone was the smoke that had been hanging around like an unwelcome guest. It was crystal clear skies, every detail of the terrain below standing out to us. It was like nature had hit the reset button, and the consequences were instant. Well, I can't believe the difference in the visibility that we've got today. I wish we had this for the last couple of days. We can see for miles. We've ended up spotting a herd of elk making their way into the timber down in the lowlands here, so we're going to quickly run down and try and intercept them.
There's like young shit running around that periphery, so there's probably something big in the middle. Hopefully, that's my understanding anyway.
We trekked down deep into the valley. Keeping an eye out for sign and listening for bugles, hoping to track down more elk. It was going to take hours to reach the spot where we last glimpsed them earlier this morning, so we set off hunting our way there, hoping luck would throw a few more elk our way just to keep things interesting. Well, we're halfway there. We left first light, very top of that ridge up there, made it down into the drainage, crossed over, and still got a couple of miles to go to where we saw these herd of elk this morning. So it's probably not a bad thing, considering there's so many elk there. We're probably going to be targeting the herd bull. It's going to get hot. They're going to make their way into the thick timber and sort of stop milling around. It means we can sneak in there a bit easier. Just a bit less eyes, so everything's dulled down a bit. We'll keep trucking and get there soon. There's a unique dynamic amongst hunters. I love that people hunt, and I'm all for more people getting into hunting. But there's one thing that every hunter can agree on. No one likes it when another hunter shows up in your spot. So after hiking nearly 5 miles, coming over that final ridge and spotting another group of hunters on the neighbouring property was a bit of a punch to the guts. What really stung though was the fact that their wind was blowing right into the bedding area where we'd been anticipating on the herd bedding up for the day. A reminder that you can have the best laid plans, but often it plays out dramatically different to what you'd expect. On hunts like this, there's a version of myself that I don't always like. It comes out when the stakes are higher, when I know I can only take one animal and the chance of ever having an opportunity like this again are slim to none. There's a part of me that doesn't want the hunt to end, and then there's another part of me that gets fixated on the idea of making it all count, living up to the expectation of the hunt itself. In those moments, I make choices that, with the benefit of hindsight, might seem a little bit foolish, but in the heat of the moment, they felt like the right decision to make.
Been bugling across the gully to this bull for at least an hour, and he's finally walked out of the timber. He's a pretty good bull. We're just trying to get eyes on him. He's raking a tree at the moment. We're just trying to work out if he's a shooter or not. He's got really nice tops, just whether he's got the length, but I just can't believe that whole deal. It's been going for so long. He is like right on the edge of a shooter. Like if this was day 12, I'd be running down this hill like a madman. Knowing that we've still got, 2 weeks of hunting. It's just so hard. Like, I feel crazy not going down there right now. And I really might regret this decision. Big Elk by himself, responding to our calls, loves the cow call. I don't know, I think we can find a bigger bull. And at this stage, I'll probably save it for that, but I just hope I don't regret this decision in 2 weeks' time. Well, absolute utter chaos in the end there. Good to know my calling was worth something with that young bull coming in at the end. I really hope I don't live to regret my decision on that big bull. It was just on the edge of a shooter. Like I said, give it another 10 days or so, I'd be running down that hill for sure, but just great to be amongst it. It seems like the rut's really starting to pick up. Bulls are responding to bugles, so already looking forward to tomorrow, can't wait.